What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Clippers, little brother, right? Always trying to one-up us. If the Lakers want somebody, the Clippers usually try to go get them. And look, to their credit, lately, they've been getting the guy that more often than not, right? They've been getting the guy. And we'll see what happens with Bradley Beal. Depending on when you're watching this video, it's very possible that maybe, that's already been resolved or whatnot. But at least at the time of recording this video, still no word on Bradley Beal. However, it looks like the Los Angeles Clippers could be positioning themselves to try to lure Luka Doncic to their team, which is Luka is the Clippers' daddy. Luka has absolutely just decimated that team. Even when they looked like they were going to win a championship, he just stop, go sit down. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, stop, right? I'm Luka Doncic. Sit down, be humble, right? The guys shred. I mean, seriously, who knows where the Clippers would have been if it wasn't for Luka Doncic, right? That guy just feeds on the tears of the Clippers, right? So it makes sense the Clippers would be like, man, if we can get that guy on our team, why not? But it looks like, based on reports, that the Clippers are they're positioning themselves for a star, period. But the hope is that Luka isn't going to sign the extension. He can't sign the extension until August. And then, that they would be able to land a star and have the cap space next season, or if not, carry it over in 2027. A lot of teams are kind of trying to preserve cap space for 2027 because guys like Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, those guys, several others, but those are kind of the big prize guys. Those guys will become or could become available to just be able to sign outright. I don't know if they'll actually be able to be signed outright just because, again, with the new CBA, a lot of teams working on signing trades, right? Is Jokic really going to turn down his extension? It's kind of one of those things you get the bag and then you request the trade, right? So it's one of those things. Same thing with Giannis, right? Giannis could request a trade this offseason still. There's still reports and talks that he might do it in a month or so, depending on how the Bucks kind of continue to round out their offseason. And if that happens, is he going to leave whatever team trades for him? Right? Let's say the Spurs, for example. The Spurs go and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is he going to okay, well, thanks for the year, or 2 years, I guess. I'm leaving now? Probably not, right? He probably is going to sign a new extension with that team, so they might not be on the market. Very possible that, again, Luka could be one of those guys that teams are kind of loading up and ponying up for. Now, again, before I dive into this, I do want to say I don't believe Luka's going anywhere. I am fairly confident. I wouldn't even say fairly. I'm incredibly confident that he's going to sign that extension next month. All signs, all reports, everything have all stated that he's going to do it. He's going to do it on a shorter term deal, but it's not he's doing a short term deal to put pressure on the Lakers and have him leave or whatever. It's nothing like that because he could technically become available in 2027, right? If he signs a 3-year deal, right? He could, depending on the options and all that stuff, he could end up being available in 2 years, right? Or I guess he'd have 1 more year. But point is that Luka's signing that short-term extension because after 10 years, he can then get a higher percentage in the cap, which will make up some of the money that he lost when Dallas decided to trade him and he wasn't able to get that extra year and the Supermax and all that stuff. So it kind of ruined any shot of him making the big money. The $70 million, Devin Booker just signed an insane contract. Well, Luka Doncic was supposed to get something like that. Now he's not because he was traded to the Lakers. So, there's a potential that, yes, maybe he doesn't sign the extension, but I believe he will. I'd be pretty surprised if he does. I'm not saying he'll do it. I think it's August 3rd or whatever. I don't think it's going to be necessarily exactly on that day, but I'm pretty sure it would be. But point is, right, teams are kind of gearing up in case it doesn't happen, right? And other stars in general. But again, to go off of the report that in this AP Hoops, the Clippers kept themselves in a position to create $50 to $60 million in 2026 cap space, despite re-signing James Harden. The Los Angeles Clippers will now be able to match the Los Angeles Lakers' best offer for Luka Doncic. So again, what the Lakers could give, because again, he was traded by the Dallas Mavericks, he only can get X amount of money, which now the Clippers would have the money, the cap space to now offer him the same thing, right? So they could put themselves in a position to be like, oh, hey, we can give you the same thing. And then depending on, who's still in there, like Kawhi Leonard, like, hey, you could come here and we can have Kawhi and Harden and all this stuff, right? Like, so it's going to be interesting, but I really do think that Luka Doncic will sign that extension and then I'll kind of nip everything in the butt and then, all will be right in the world. But if it doesn't, it's definitely something to kind of keep an eye on, right? Because it's like, do you got Steve Ballmer, he's going to spend his money, right? Like, if the Lakers, like, I think it depends on what the Lakers do in the next month still, right? Like, I expect the Lakers to be patient. Luka seems genuinely excited about DeAndre Ayton, which, I mean, he should be. Like, I've said this before, but seriously, like, if you could create a center in a lab for Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton is that center, right? Hyper athletic, run the floor, one of the best pick and roll big men in all of basketball, right? Can knock down the little elbow, knock down you run some pick and pops, run some pick and rolls, be the lob threat, right? He's just incredibly versatile. Defensively, some question marks, but he's had some good seasons, had some great defensive seasons. So can he kind of get back to that and buying in on the defensive side of things? If he does, then watch out, right? So, and Ayton's going to feast off of Luka Doncic. Like, they are a match made in heaven. So, and if it works out this year, I mean, again, you could have your center and point guard for the next 6 to 8 years and have, one of the best duos in basketball. I really do believe that Ayton, Luka pick and roll may end up being the best offensive play in all of basketball. Last year it was Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. Luka Doncic is better than Cade Cunningham, and DeAndre Ayton is overall better than, Jalen Duren, right? Because he can do all the same stuff Jalen Duren does, but also pick and pop and do all those other things, right? Like, so I'm curious to see how everything plays out. Teams, again, are kind of gearing up and trying to position themselves to land various stars and stuff. There could be a bunch of stars that become available. I just don't know how realistic it is with the new CBA of how many of these stars are actually going to become available, especially with like I said, you get the extra year, you get all, like, there's all this stuff. Like, there really has to be something that makes you go, I need to get out of here, right? There really has to be something that kind of lines itself up to where you're like, you know what, right? Like, I'm going to skate on out of here. So I expect Luka to sign the extension. I just thought it was interesting that the Clippers, because again, it's the Clippers. They're always, anytime, like the Lakers want somebody, you can almost set your watch to, there's going to be a report that the Clippers want the same player. And, again, to their credit, they've been getting a lot of the guys that the Lakers have been trying to get. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with Luka. I think Luka will be a Laker for at least the next, 3-4 years, bare minimum. I think it'll be longer, but we'll see. Time will tell. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.